live on YouTube.
Let a few of those people enjoy the show.
Right. So if you're watching us on the YouTube as the live stream kicks in, welcome to the open mic comedy show. It's possibly the fucking greatest thing going on November the 9th at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time that I can think of. I'm not sure about you.
Better than the news.
We got a hot band. We got a hot lineup of comedians.
I've got a note here to everyone. I'm here with Laura Hug from Chicago.
We're the hottest host of an open mic virtually anywhere in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please give a fine and mighty round of applause to Mr. Mike Langworthy.
Thank you so very much. And I'd like to thank Cal Jader for that lovely vibes work. He's been dead for 30 years, but he still plays. You know why? He can't afford to give up the check.
He's vibing.
So consider Laura Hug to be logged in. I guess what we're saying, Josh is saying, I want Laura Hug to be able to perform on the show tonight. I think that's what's
got it. We got it. Understood.
Okay, cool. I have no problem with that. She can work this show. Oh, she can work this show. Sorry. Anyway, welcome. Since our last show, world has been brought back slightly from the edge of the precipice. Well, it's incredibly disappointing to me to learn that there are so many white supremacist, racist assholes in this country that if Donald Trump was even marginally functional as a human being, he'd still be the president. It's unbelievable. It is unfucking believable. And in the first couple of days of the returns, I didn't believe what people were saying in the press because Michigan was going for that asshole again. Hey, by the way, for those of you who are Trump supporters, I respect you as human beings, and I'm not saying this is a personal thing. I don't want to make, I don't want to make any enemies here, just because a rational person couldn't possibly support him, and yet 70 plus million people voted for him. They voluntarily went someplace, if only to their kitchen table to fill out a mail-in ballot. And I don't talk politics a lot because I'm a disenfranchised independent, noticing over the course of my adult life that politics some time ago ceased to be a means to an end and became a blood sport all its own. And I think wanting to, like I told somebody, I was looking for that my entire life. I've been looking for that wonderful Gandhi versus Saint Damien of Molokai presidential contest, but apparently we have to be satisfied with people who are willing to be the president, and that becomes a problem when you're trying to look for character in a candidate. All right, so some other people may have something to say about the election. I would love to say that I'm breathing a huge sigh of relief, but I think the smart money is on gun ownership being considerably higher among the losing side than it is on the winning side. Anyway, enough of that. I used to say I wanted to make sure that I voted in the last election the United States was going to have, and turned out I was wrong about that too. What I really want to do is just talk about the real villain of the piece, Mitch McConnell, who managed in 5 minutes to say that all of the congressional races that went for the Republicans were completely legitimate, but the presidential election in the same places, being run by the same election officials were not. So I like to get us off with a big laugh. So that's what I do. I will go after a national politician. Vijay, and why will I do that? Because it's easy and it's cheap. I can, you know what? For some reason, I know how to pronounce Sukumar Vijayaraghavan's name, but I still write the whole name out because I want to prove to myself that I can.
That you can spell it.
That I can spell it exactly. And why? I don't know why. Here's a political thing that I heard when I used to belong to a private golf club when I was in Los Angeles. And the president one year was a guy, a South Asian man. And he was talking all that shit about trickle-down economics and stuff that he'd learned being a Reagan supporter his whole life in America. Well, amazingly, because, it's one of those places where you have to swim on a raft made of dead children's bodies to get to a place where you can buy food. And comes to the United States, gets wealthy, and all of a sudden, everything's great. And I was talking about India being, it's like at that time, 1.1 billion people living there. And he says, I mean, how do you even manage to feed all of the people in your country? And he said, hey, come on, the top 100 million or so are doing pretty well, Mike. As if that was supposed to be. Yeah, sure. Okay. So it's just the other billion that are starving. All right, good. So the country's a complete success. You incredible dick. All right, so that's just the thing that I do. I'm unhappy about being an old man. I don't like the fact that I look old, that I act old. And so I take it out on other people. It's as simple as that. If you haven't reached that age yourself, it's going to happen to you if you don't overdose. So get used to it. I can still pass for, a little silver fox. Hey, Richard Gere, when did you walk in? Then I take this off and it's like, get off my lawn. All right. So this is my point. My point is that I'm probably a little more curmudgeonly than most people should be. Those of you who know me a little bit through the show already know this. Those of you who are new, they're going, geez, should I be in this? I don't know. This guy seems a little unhinged. All right, so that's fine. That's fine. Think what you need to think. You're not dealing with what I'm dealing with. All right. I used to be able to piss halfway up a wall from all the way across the room. Okay. Now I have to stand in the toilet. I still miss it. I'm urinating with a rain bird in my pants, which is hugely funny if you've ever been on a golf course sprinkler, because that's what a rain bird is. Don't make me come out there and hand out glossaries. All right. Yes, when my son was young, I told him what a glossary was. And he says, oh, you mean it's not that animal that looks like a pig that grows on the Rio Grande? No, that's a peccary. Oh, really? I thought a peccary was the governor of Georgia. I had to give him that one. I had to give him that one because he was a peccary. He wasn't a pecker, but he was peccary. You know what I mean? He was leaning that way.
He was peckish.
No, he wasn't peckish. See, now you've ruined the joke by bringing reality into it. I know that voice. I know who it's coming from. I would say you're working on my last nerve, but my last nerve went south in 1998, ladies and gentlemen. All right, when I started passing out while I was running television shows, that was a thrilling time. Oh, what a great time in my life. But you know what? Let's not get into that. Chuck, I don't know why you brought all this up.
Right.
I certainly didn't want to talk about it. There's nothing in what I've said in the last 5 minutes that would imply I want to talk about any of this stuff.
The introduction forecasted a comedy show.
Well, sure. I didn't think it was going to snow this morning, but it did. Forecasts aren't always right, are they?
Yeah.
Just
No,
ask
they
Hillary
aren't.
Clinton. See, brought it all full circle. Boom. All right, and now you know what? This is our open mic night, and I usually actually do comedy material. Well, I'm not saying it's funny, but it's
Yeah, you do.
yeah, often, not every time. Case in point, right here.
Just
Right?
glad
I
that's
let
here.
myself go. I let myself go. I let myself off the leash a little bit on a night when a person that when we were children, even the youngest people here when we were children, we couldn't have imagined that someone as incredibly dysfunctional and mentally ill would become the president of the United States. Even if you were mentally ill, like an LBJ or something like that, at least it focused on a kind of monomania about doing something for the country. It wasn't like, hey, look.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Donald Trump.
Oh, Trump. Okay, of course.
Trump, it was in all the papers.
Because certainly the president-elect isn't like that.
No, God knows.
No.
God knows.
Smart as a whip.
No, he's more like an LBJ type. Sure, monomaniac. If you want to be the president, there's something wrong with you. I think we all know that.
It's
That's
a
the way,
mental illness.
the way we get our best presidency is to hold a national plebiscite/election. Everybody has to register for it. You have to register with a yes, no sort of toggle switch vote. I'm willing to be the president. I'm not willing to be the president. Okay. You get all of those votes.
Or I'm not
tally
sure.
them, and every person, you have to put your address on the thing and everything. And everybody who says, I'm willing to be the president, immediately becomes ineligible and loses the franchise. That's how you get a president that's worthy of the name in this country. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I've been Daniel Lippman. Thank you. Appreciate that. One literate person in the room. Our first performer tonight
Correct.
is not me, clearly. But you know what? I didn't know this person was going to be in the same room with Josh DiDonato. And just so that I don't have to imagine Josh DiDonato and this person together in a room immediately, I want to put her on first. So please welcome, if you will, someone who I met once before, again, through Josh DiDonato. And her name is Laura Hug. Please give her a big round of applause.
Woo!
Yeah,
Hey.
So
thanks,
much.
Laura.
Yeah, this is great.
Would like me to, I have more jokes about the election that I haven't done. You want me to type them to you in the chat and you can use them? No, never mind. Go ahead. Just do what you were going to do.
Oh, yeah. I'm not really a news person. So go ahead. It's good. It's great. I live in a neighborhood. I don't know if anybody here knows Chicago, but I live in a neighborhood called North Center. Just to give you an idea, it's like a snow globe. Anytime anything happens, shakes it up, white things fall down. So thank God Joe Biden won the election. I can tell what's going on around my neighborhood. I feel really blessed to have been born to parents who are incredibly self-centered, and they pass that on to me. So I have just turned inward for the last 4 years. I don't know if anybody else has parents or have parents like this, but I have parents that we would have had a much better relationship had I been born 30 years old and smoking a cigarette and came out with my own 12-pack, to bring to the party. So my parents weren't abusive. They were just neglectful, but they started paying a lot more attention to me when I got really sick with chronic teen pregnancy. And then they really stepped up.
Shame.
I mean, I gave my you know, I gave them some run for their money. Sometimes I was what you would call a troubled teen, I guess. I shoplifted. My mother was the one who busted me shoplifting, and she was really disappointed in me, and she would let me know every time she asked to borrow one of the outfits that I stole. Actually, that's where I think I got my love of clothes, which has really sustained me through this administration. So, I'm really glad to be able to go into work sometimes because I have a lot of clothes. I really like fashion. I would have gone into fashion design had I not gone into nothing. So, I'm gonna be visiting LA very soon, and I'm really excited because I know that my favorite fashion designers live there. They're the Kardashians. I think they live there. I don't know if anybody here knows that they're fashion designers, but the Kardashian collection, I hope you were able to get some of their pieces before all the Sears went out of business. It's a really great experience to be able to buy an interview suit and farm tools all in one-stop shopping. I think the reason why the Kardashians were important fashion designers is because they really know the woman that they're designing for. Everything in the collection is made out of bathing suit material. That's because they know the woman they designed for could get hosed down at any minute. So, I've also, wear a lot of makeup. I like makeup. I don't feel sexy unless I leave the house looking like a birthday cake at a whore's party. I'm sorry, an empowered sex workers party. I did stop coloring my hair, though. I used to lighten my hair. I used to get it highlighted, and then I stopped because I thought, why should I pay for a service the Grim Reaper is doing for free? You know, people ask who my hairdresser is. I just tell them it's mortality. So, I mean, you were talking about getting older. You know, I'm getting older. I still try to get ready, but it takes me longer now when I get ready. I need more time because when I shave my legs, I have to start at my face. I never knew, I never dreamed as a small girl that one day I too would look like a founding father. But, I mean, I know men's bald age drop, but women's vaginas age. I started exercising later in life, and I wish I would have done it younger because I will never know if my vagina always clapped like a metronome when I do low impact aerobics. But it's great. It helps me keep the time. So you know what? I think that's what I'm going to do. So thank you so much. This has been really.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Thank you so much. Laura Hogg, one more time. Clap for her, please.
Yay.
Clap for her or flap for her, if that's something that
Clapping.
works better for you. I just don't actually know. But, I do know that you're
Time to wake up.
when you're not, that I put it in the thing for everybody. Sets are 5 minutes long. I have a beeper that goes off after 4 minutes, and it just went off. I started a little later with Laura. So, and I put the next act, the next 2 acts usually are in the chat for everyone as well. Our next performer, for example, who's also in the same room with Laura, and also in Chicago. And my son is here tonight, and he's in Chicago as well, and was letting me know that there was a Chicago police officer outside his building when the show started tonight, which made me feel safe. Or it would have made me feel safe if he wasn't my son and he was a person of color. But anyway, let's not get into that. Our next performer is Josh D. Donato, and I want to hear a big round of applause for him too, please.
Thank you, Mike. We're actually in Las Vegas for the World
Oh, you
Series.
said Vegas, didn't you? She said Chicago during his set, and I blinked on that. I apologize.
Yes, hails from Chicago. She came from Chicago. She risked Corona to come here for a contest that will be ill-attended and maybe safe. But yeah, pretty. I don't know. There's a lot, with the election. I hope, for your sake, that you're on the side of the winners. And by that, of course, I mean the legalization of marijuana in Arizona, Montana, South Dakota, and New Jersey, which all passed. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
Didn't know that they
Yeah.
all-
You're spoiled in Colorado being ahead of the curve so much, but who's excited about pot being legal? Let me hear.
Hey.
Yeah, wrong.
Outside.
Yeah, sorry, you're wrong to be excited about that. It doesn't matter. Does it matter if pot is legal? Really? I feel like if you love pot, you will locate and smoke pot. Right? Has that not always been the case? Like, nobody's ever said, oh, my friend gave me this awesome joint for my birthday, but I don't know, it's illegal. Flush. I want to be groovy, but the laws of the land are more important. Nobody's ever said that. And it's going to be full on legal in all 50 states soon enough, whatever your feelings are about it. And the fascinating thing about that, to me, is the culture change that's going to occur. Like, think about this, 15, 20 years from now, there are going to be parents who sit their kids down and say, you kids have it so easy. When I was your age, when we wanted pot, we had to call a guy. We couldn't just traipse down to Costco and stock up for the month. And we have to hang out with the guy too. Have you ever sat and listened to an hour and a half of Dave Matthews Band covers on acoustic guitar to get your drugs? That was no picnic. And you know how we used to have to do our pot? We used to have to smoke it. Yeah, we couldn't get it in a soda or a lip balm or a topical cream. Smoking's very bad for you, Bobby. Don't you ever let me catch you smoking your pot. When you're under my roof, you will eat it or drink it or rub it on yourself like everybody else. That is how we get high in this house, young man. If I find out you've been smoking your pot, you will lose your spaceship privileges. And when you want to take your robot girlfriend to watch a poor person get executed, you'll be on the bus, mister.
Mhm.
All right. Bruce, you look a little confused. That part of the joke was in the future.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. That's on me. That's on
So you won't have to worry about it.
Future is now.
Thank you for reminding us of Bruce's impending death during my set, Mike. I will, I have to say the news did hit me kind of in a weird way that I didn't expect. I'll admit I voted for Joe Biden and told a whole lot of people I was hoping he would be president. And then we got the news on Saturday and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I realized I got to get a new stand-up act. I'm fucked. All my jokes from the last 4 years, done, gone. Everything that has killed for the last 4 years, gone. What, I'm supposed to develop a point of view now? What the fuck, man? Is that a minute left?
That's a minute left.
All right. Well, I don't know. It's just, but I am excited. We're about to have a socialist country. That's great. Is going to turn us into a socialist country. I'm not hoping that Joe Biden keeps all his promises. I'm hoping that Joe Biden keeps all the promises that Donald Trump made about a Joe Biden presidency. You know what I mean? Like Donald Trump said Joe Biden was going to make a socialist and that he was going to hurt the Bible and hurt God. Oh man, I can't wait for that. Somebody needs to take fucking God out. It's been too long. All right. Thank you for your time. God bless America.
Josh DiDonato, ladies and gentlemen, Josh DiDonato. I'm incidentally, when I do those jokes, I'm older than Lipsky. So, Lipsky will be using a 4-posted cane on my grave. I mean, dancing on my grave. I'm just saying, I'm old. That's all I'm saying. And I'm going to keep the show rolling because we got some people that came in that are not on the list but want to perform, and I want to make sure they get a chance to perform. And God knows I'm not doing a goddamn thing worth listening to. So,
Sounds like somebody needs a hug.
yeah, well, unless it's Josh DiDonato, they're shit out of luck tonight. I'm bringing our next performer on, and the voice of Christmas past, I'm sure we'll keep commenting throughout the show. So please welcome, if you will, Bruce Lipsky. Oh, wait a minute, is it Donna and then Bruce? It's Donna, isn't it? Donna Shannon, then Bruce. Sorry, my fault. You see?
I have
Donna,
that
you
effect.
perform. I want you to perform. Bruce, you're up next.
Okay.
Sorry, man.
Oh,
I
my
fucked
heart.
up.
My heart.
I fucked up.
So am I really going now?
You are really going now.
All right. So, hey, I got a confession to make. I actually do have a day job. I have my own company. I'm a career coach by trade. So that means I help people get jobs and stuff. So I got a voicemail last week from a gal who said she lost her job due to Cobra. I'm like, Cobra? Like the bad guys from G.I. Joe? My voicemail must have screwed up. That can't be right. So I give her a call and I'm talking to her and she's saying it like 2 or 3 times that she lost her job due to Cobra. I'm like, holy crap, maybe she's onto something here. Maybe Cobra Commander finally got something to work. And his plotting pyramid or whatever the fuck he has lately, it's like, yes, Destro. We finally made the virus that got everyone sick. But like most of Cobra plots, it only kind of halfway works out. But I mean, it's really think about it. The more 2020 really does sound like these crazy Cobra plots from the 80s, like the Weather Dominator. Yes, Destro, we got the Weather Dominator to work. Send 5 more hurricanes to Louisiana and Mississippi. That's a real plot. Another real plot was to destroy all currency, so you had to use Cobra Cash. So yes, all those old people who can't get change at the grocery store, Cobra got them. Cobra got them for sure. They even had a plot to destroy all vegetation by burning down all the forests. Going on in California, it wasn't because of any birth announcement, it was fucking Cobra. And then, let's talk a moment about Serpentor. So if you're not old enough to know who Serpentor is, he's the Cobra Emperor. He's this crazy orange-looking dude with a huge yellow hood, kind of wears gold all the time. Everything he has is just covered in gold. And yeah, not like anybody political figures that we know today.
No, God, no.
God, no.
Wait, there is that.
His
Yeah,
name
here's-
is Donald J. Serpentor.
Donald J. Serpentor, yes. So he came from Destro, and Dr. Mindbender actually genetically engineered him because Cobra Commander was like not really effective, kind of like Bush 2. So they went around and they got all the DNA from the greatest world leaders. So they got Genghis Khan and Ivan the Terrible and Alexander the Great. Great leaders, right? But they forgot Sun Tzu with the art of war. So that meant he had all the aggression and all the ego, but no wisdom and no restraint. And here's another real Cobra plot. He actually took over Washington, D.C., but he couldn't hold on to it because he squandered all his resources and put like really inept people in charge of, you know, government bodies. He was a one-term emperor. Think about it, our one-term emperor, Serpentor. But there's only one thing that can defeat Cobra now. We need a racially diverse, culturally aware, elite force of men and women who are allowed to bring their service animals into the field with them.
Okay.
Oh, Joe.
Mm.
And now you know, and knowing is half the battle.
Ha!
So obviously, with me and all my GI Joe references, I'm a Gen Xer. So I turned 50 several months ago, and I got my AARP invitation. I know, right? But they need to change their marketing to fit my demographic. It needs to be AARP Extreme. It's discounts at Denny's and IHOP. Free tribal every membership. It's like, yeah, millennials, in case you didn't know, we invented that extreme shit. The X Games, bungee jumping, extreme Doritos. That's our benefit that we gave to culture. But because we never planned on living this long, and by the time I retire, it's going to be Social Security Extreme, which will be like 100 jackass DVDs, which we already had. And so I don't even get to retire until age 72. So age discrimination, extreme.
Well, thanks. Donna Shannon, everybody.
Yeah.
Donna Shannon, who did not have the heart attack when I read the wrong name, and I grant you that was really good. I'm happy for you. Although I don't think not being old enough is probably the 10 ring of the bullseye of why people may not get your GI Joe /
What, they're not as nerdy as me?
Oh, well, it's just possible that they may, for those of you who got outdoors during the 90s. You might want to go with that next time you set up that bit. But nevertheless, it's fine. I mean, Serpentor would be proud of you.
Was G.I. Joe a Romulan or a Vulcan? See, that's
Now we're
what I
just
never
separating
know.
nerds into decades.
Yes.
That's all we're doing
Yes.
at this point.
No,
Yeah.
he was a Ferengi. Definitely looked more like a Ferengi.
Yeah,
Dang.
I don't know what a Ferengi is. I don't know what a
Oh, I envy
Romulan
you.
is. All I know is that we're the Romulans and Remans both. And
Ah,
did they start some kind of new Rome out in space? Is that it?
thanks, Joe College.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I went to I went to a college that was wise enough not to institute a football program. It's called the University of Michigan.
Boom. Boom.
Bam! Boom! 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 Anyway, our next performer has already suffered through one insult and a false introduction, so I think we should let him perform before he gets too mad at me. Because I care deeply about that sort of thing. Please welcome Bruce Lipsky.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All that lack of respect, I could have stayed home. But anyway,
Hey!
you know, Donna was talking about Gen X's and everybody's talking about millennials. And I guess Michael too, I decided to form a new group. I'm calling ourselves the Perennials. Just like the flower, we pop up and come only once a year. But going back, way back in the early 1970s, I went to high school, graduated Bayside High School, New York City, Queens. We had to take swim class, required. But in our swim class, we had to swim naked. So I remember the first day going to class, I said to the teacher, "Where's my Speedo?" He said, "Speedo? How about Speed No?" Little did I know that my birthday suit would become my bathing suit. Thankfully, woodshop wasn't run that way. But now think about it. Fast forward to 2020. Now no suit would equal lawsuit. Imagine being 14 years old, having to do forced skinny dipping among all your colleagues. I barely had eyebrows back then. And also, little did I know that this would actually be the pilot episode and I'd be starring in Naked and Afraid. And it actually started early in the 1970s. So, but you know, in that class, this is actually true. We had to play water polo, and the teacher kept on yelling, "Protect your nets, protect your nets." I'd be off in the corner saying, "The hell with that! I'm trying to protect my nuts." And I did become an excellent one-handed swimmer. In competitions, I wasn't the best, but I always held my own. And also, this swim class gave me a lot of confidence with the women, especially when I learned the breaststroke. behind the bleachers with Mary Lou Zabriskie. But again, fast forward, I just turned 65, celebrated a birthday.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I looked in the mirror the other day. I said, shit, I look like an old Buick. This body is shot. The rear end is making funny sounds. My hoses are leaking and my ball joints have all dried up. I said, oh, I better get Mako. Mako says, oh no, you better get Medicare. And in my house, if I had a leak, I used to call a plumber. Now, if I spring a leak, I call my urologist. And he's 50 bucks cheaper. And, all you young kids, Yale, Friday night, you want to go out dancing with your friends, music's on, you go out on the floor and bust a move. I can't take my wife dancing anymore. I'm afraid I'm going to bust a hip. And now I'm starting to forget things. I swear my phone mattress has a better memory than I do. And I've become a late night exerciser. Between the hours of 2 and 5 in the morning, I'm doing sprints between my bedroom and the bathroom. And I've got my time down under 6 seconds. It's a beautiful thing. I've been married a long time. My wife and I just celebrated our anniversary. 30 years of wetted blisters. That's because all these years she's been rubbing me the wrong way. And I got the calluses to prove it. My wife is always in business mode. Puts everything on an Excel spreadsheet. I wish she'd excel at putting out and spreading between the sheets.
You don't want to laugh at that. But
And before I met my wife, I dated a lot. I even dated a very famous TV weather person. Not Al Roker, but the first time we got intimate, it was like a bad winter forecast. She was predicting 10 to 12, and all she got was 2 to 4. And we have one of these adjustable beds, but I learned it's not a good idea to piss my wife off before bedtime. We had an argument, and she raised both ends of the bed into the shape and folded up like a giant taco. I couldn't get in. I guess I won't be ringing her Taco Bell tonight. My wife during this pandemic is totally obsessed now buying on Amazon. The packages are nonstop. My front porch has been rezoned as a loading dock. Packages up to the roof. It's like a game of Jenga for giants. I'm constantly running from the porch to the living room to upstairs like a delivery monkey or Amazon primate. And I think she's having an affair with the UPS guy. She's always bragging, going on and on and on about how big his package is. I know what Brown's doing for her, but what's he doing for me? And now she's into fantasy role play. She has me dress up in brown shorts, work boots, and a clipboard. Anytime I want to have sex, I got to sign for it. And this is making my family life miserable. The only smiles in my house now are the ones in the boxes. And one final thing, my wife is into fitness. She takes goat yoga. For those of you who don't know what this is where you're in the studio, you lay in a mat, the goat roams around, jumps on your back and licks your ears. Supposedly very therapeutic and relaxing. I said to my wife, how come when I tried that last week, you slapped me and threw me out of the bedroom? And now you're paying the goat to do it. She says, well, he's got great technique and fresher breath.
Oh,
I don't know if that's my time, but
yeah, more or
thank
less.
you very much. I
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
very much.
Yay.
Bruce Lipsky, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it's good. Yale put in the chat, I don't know if you saw it, that at 52, he's the world's oldest young kid. Maybe we're not attracting the demographic that we might. I don't know. There's young
Maybe if you did the show in color. Just a thought.
maybe
Just a
that would
thought.
help. Perhaps if I told a joke once a week. That would
Oh,
help.
don't fly off the handle, Mike. Come on.
Thank you very much, Ned. I appreciate that. We're gonna have a little guest shot in a couple of comics from someone whose name you'll recognize in a second, but I'm not gonna say it right now. Please welcome, if you will, our next performer, Akib Merchant. I hope Merchant is the right way to pronounce that.
Yes, it is. It's perfect.
Okay, good.
It's only after you get a haircut you realize how big your forehead is. Like I am astounded that my forehead is like 3 fingers big, and my head now looks like a fucking golf course. You know, and I've had all of this because I had traumatic experiences as a child. Like I was walking down the street, right, looking into my phone, and a beggar comes up, and he's like, "Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Hey, bro." I mean, he was not that crazy, repetitive kind of homeless. I just was wearing earphones. So, so I just removed my earphones and I just hear him telling me, "Will you have a look at my hair? Will you have a look at my hair, bro?" And the moment I lifted my head up, I saw his outstretched arm with a fistful of hair in it. And and as soon as I lifted my head up, he had a piece of his hair missing from his scalp. You know, I mean, I really and he turned on his normal mode and he went like, "Hey, sir." His left arm was amputated, right? So he went like, "Sir," clearly asking for money, right? But I'm such an idiot. I thought he was asking for the time. I told him, "Sir, it's 8:30. It's 8:30 in the morning. You should really go and have a shower." And it's kind of like I had a religious upbringing, okay, where my mother told me that I should eat calabash. Who knows what calabash is here? Yeah, only Mike. The rest of you, please stop eating burgers and look up some veggies, man. Seriously. So for those of you who don't know, it's like a mutated cucumber. Like it's like if Hull goes to shopping for groceries, that's what a calabash would look like. Like Bigfoot's dildo. Like that's the most precise thing I can give you. You know. And she used to tell me I should eat calabash. Why? Because the prophet liked it. That's it, just his personal preference. So I was like, let's look at his other personal preferences, like his taste in women, right? So I asked my mother, should I marry a 6-year-old as well? But my mother told me, now I know what you're thinking. Did our prophet do it with a 6-year-old? No, he's our prophet. He did it with a 9-year-old. And honestly, I think eating calabash is not a preference, but more of a necessity, because a 9-year-old can't cook more than one dish, to be honest. And it's impressive, right? It's impressive. Like none of all of you are like horrified, but I see all of you watching MasterChef Junior, hoping some kid, you support some kid and hoping the other one loses, crushing the dreams of the other one. So you support children cooking, right? I also had I'm still that stupid, right? So I was hearing an ad on YouTube where it said that 3 women went like, I lost 5 pounds in 2 months. I lost 15 pounds in 1 month. The third woman goes like, I lost 45 pounds in 2 months. And it's clearly an ad about weight loss, right? But I thought it's an ad about bad gambling. Like people are just advertising bad gambling. They're like, oh, I don't know. It's just weird. And I think even the Christians got away really, really well. Because what if like Jesus was obese and you had to crucify him? Now that changes the game entirely, right? And religion has a habit of doing things like over the top they just go overboard with everything. Like we will crucify Jesus, but on top of a hill, right? You can just do it on the ground floor. Like you don't have to go over the top literally with everything all the time, And I mean, his torture wouldn't be the crucifixion. I think his torture wouldn't be the crucifixion if he was obese. His torture would be just going up and down the hill, hiking it, and just tell Jesus to lose weight as well, man. Yeah. So I have a couple of one-liners for you. So I had a very short uncle, right? A very short uncle, and he was very tensed all the time, very tensed. So I gave my uncle a fidget spinner. right? And I told him, here, uncle, take this fidget spinner. It will help you release your tension, right? And he was so tense that while using the fidget spinner, he also started walking around the room. Now in our house, we had a fidget spinner and a midget spinner, you know. I mean, yeah, and I find it very difficult to make my girlfriend orgasm, right? Very difficult. So I told her, babe, the next time I'll make you come for sure. And you know what she said? She said, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I went like, babe, the last time we tried that, it did not work. The last time we tried it in the ass, this time we'll try it in the pussy. Thank you, guys. That's my time.
Well, Akib knows which material to end with. There's no question about that.
It's called a closer, Mike.
Yeah, okay.
Call the closer.
A leg closer, if nothing else. So you know what? I'm a crazy kind of a cuss who once I get things going on a roll, I just like to keep it going. So I'm going to bring Yale up right away. I usually make some stupid pun about the Ivy League, but I'm not going to today.
How about the locksmithing school?
I beg your pardon?
The locksmithing.
Yes, the locksmithing school. Man,
Some people go there.
you really
Not
reaching
me.
back, really reaching back for the heat tonight.
Good night.
What I mean is, it's not. See, he's saying that it's Yale, but it's the Never mind. Yeah, why don't you just do what you were going to do and try to
Do my thing.
try
right, so-
Ladies and gentlemen, Yale Hollander.
Thank you, Chuck. Very nice. Hey, good evening, everybody. Mike, I've got to give you a shout out for throwing some Cal Chater on there at the beginning of the show. That's good stuff. That's if Lionel Hampton had just taken a little more weed, that's Cal Chater. So
Yeah, it's true.
it's good writing music too. I put that on. I put Cal on Spotify and let it just kind of choose the songs for me. Speaking of Spotify, though, I thought there was something wrong with my Spotify account today. I tried to play the Jersey Boys soundtrack, and all I was getting were like leaf blowers and lawnmowers and the sound of crunching leaves. And then I realized I was listening to Frankie Valli and Four Seasons Total Landscaping. So there's that. Very unfortunate to get those two things mixed. I mean, how do you get those two things mixed up? I don't know. You guys think that ABC has already signed Ivanka to Dancing with the Stars? You know, they've already signed Melania for The Bachelorette. So there's that. Mike Pence has not been seen in public for the last 7 days. People are concerned that maybe he's, one of the dozen or so people that got COVID from the election night debacle. I think he's just out shooting reverse mortgage commercials. I mean, because that is his next career move. Let's be honest. It's not like he's got any kind of. It's not like he's got any kind of marketable reputation to come out of, his vice presidency. I mean, for Christ's sake, even Dan Quayle could have gotten the Orida account. But Pence, I mean, he just didn't do anything. As far as I know, there aren't any products out there that cater to men whose wives won't let them be in a room with another woman. So I think it's going to be reverse mortgages, man. Look out, Tom Selleck. There's already upheaval going on in Washington right now. The White House chef is panicking because she's going to have to start going to the grocery store again. I mean, it's been 4 years since she's been down the produce aisle. It's, going to be a new world for her. Unlike his campaign promises, though, people are already losing jobs under the impending Biden administration. The McDonald's down the street from the White House just laid off their entire night shift in anticipation for January. So it's not all good news, but I guess we could talk about something a little more topical. The holidays, Halloween, was 10 days ago, and already, believe it or not, they're already starting to push Toyotathon. I mean, can we at least get through Lobster Fest before we move straight into Toyotathon? I mean, I don't even have my Shark Week cards addressed yet. So slow down, Madison Avenue. Slow down, Madison Avenue. I am downstairs, as you could probably tell, in my basement. It is my basement, not my mother's basement. She's dead, so we'll leave her out of this, please. But no, I'm grateful to have this show to come to on Monday nights, because otherwise I would be stuck upstairs with my wife having to watch Lifetime Movie Network. It's bad. I mean, one movie is worse than the next. She was watching one the other day, and I made the mistake of asking her what it was about, and she goes, "Oh, this is one where a psychopath kidnaps a bunch of orphans." I'm like, "No, you can't kidnap an orphan." I mean, I'm a lawyer, and even I know technically that's adoption. You know, those kids are winners. Those kids are feeling lucky. They're riding an emotional high that's going to carry them through the remaining 10 to 15 minutes of their lives. That's just the way it goes. She also likes Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil, in my mind, is not a doctor. He does have a PhD, but it's in clinical psychology. And he wrote his thesis on the psychological impacts of rheumatoid arthritis. Okay, so if people are going on Dr. Phil because they need him to resolve a family problem, it better have to do with grandma's incessant screaming every time she tries to pick up a cast iron skillet. Okay, yeah, okay, technically he's a doctor, but you know what? I'm a lawyer. I have a Juris Doctor. I am a doctor of jurisprudence. I don't call myself Dr. Yale. And what's more, I can fix a traffic ticket, but I'm not going to fix your fucked up family. That's all I've got. Good night.
Yay. Welcome, if you will, the applause for Yale Hollander.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. So,
Nice.
there's a guy that's on this show every week, but he's often in the background. He's kind of shy. He's kind of retiring. Unlike me, he's kind of funny. And he produces the show. And you hear him every once in a while. He'll come in and with one of his bazoom, boom, 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 zingers, you know, and just cut me to the quick. But tonight, he's going to be doing straight up comedy for you folks. Please welcome Chuck Roy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so nice of you, Mike. I've been learning the whole show and absolutely enjoying the comedy. Yale, I'm signed up to run a Toyotathon later this holiday, all the way in a Tacoma. So I look forward to that exercise. That's about the most exercise I'm going to get during the pandemic. And I am a fan of Tom Selleck commercials for reverse mortgages. And I agree. I think you're dead on that Mike Pence is going to do those and replace him. I've always wanted to make fun of Tom Selleck saying the phrase in that commercial, "I think I know what's what." I've been around long enough to know what's what. And that's one of those kind of old people scare you sentences that like they need to sell that kind of shit. And I firmly believe that Mike Pence could say that. I also bet Dan Quayle could say that better than Don Quayle.
Or Dave Quayle, which is what he said.
Was it what did he say, Dave Quayle? So now I fucked up. I was trying to make fun of you for misquoting or saying the wrong name, and I said the wrong name. My bad.
That's what makes it funny, Chuck.
Thank you, Mike, for explaining. Judging by the start of the show, I'm surprised you know what humor is. Putting the cold in cold open. All right.
Hey, those who can do, those who can't teach, run open mics. So
Hi,
that's
I'm
me.
Chuck Roy, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that's me. Me.
Listen, if this seems like your Zoom Christmas, this is what my Zoom Christmas is going to be like. Just me and my family getting together and saying old bitter things, which I think a Zoom Christmas is perfect for my family. Most of us are two-dimensional. So I can't wait to play Secret Santa. No matter who it is, I'm getting them nose hair clippers just for this one. Like, I can't see everybody. Clean those up. My sister, I'm gonna get her a cardigan on Amazon, which is when I go to Amazon and click again on whatever I got her. It's a cardigan. Sorry, Mike, that one I wanted to do. I wanted it to work.
It's all right.
It failed
It's the
utterly.
sting out of your opening monologue joke.
It's like a lot of my dairy humor. It fails utterly.
Don't have a cow.
Right. Those are
Especially
jokes.
if that was the cream of the crop.
Oh God, stop milking this.
Yeah.
2%.
It's getting cheesy.
Jump in, everybody. It's that easy to do. You know what's not easy to do, but I apparently discovered is really easy to do today. I brushed my teeth with hydrocortisone cream. Just by accident. I thought I was reaching for the toothpaste, but I grabbed hydrocortisone cream. Apparently, I was itching to brush my teeth. Mike, I've gained 12 pounds during the pandemic. Mike, the other 45 are winnings. That joke is a real put on. Snowing here in Colorado, reminding me of a 1980s green room coffee table. Lightly covered in snow. Yay. Listen, the holidays are coming up. And Mike, if we knew each other in Los Angeles, Ned, I think you lived in Los Angeles. If we were Los Angeles friends during my Los Angeles days, we probably wouldn't be friends anymore because of the holiday gift I gave in the year 2000. It was my heyday in Los Angeles, a nice little apartment with lemon trees right next to where I parked. And I got home so stoned one day, I thought, I'm going to make ornaments out of the lemon trees. And decorated some, made ornaments, and some friends of mine were like, oh, we should do this some more. So I made little parties. It became a whole thing. I'd call all my hippie friends, get a shit ton of drugs, and we kept turning the lemons into little ornaments, and then I put them in boxes. And that's when I had to start making decisions. Like, at Christmas card time, you have to make decisions. Like, am I sending this person a gift? Or am I sending this person a card? Or is this person no longer my friend? So that year I decided who would get one of these sweet little ornaments, and then who would get a card, and maybe who was no longer my friend. And I sent out all the ornaments, went over to my neighbor's bar. He's a bartender. I tell him all about it. I'm like, man, I've left you an ornament on the front step. Don't think anything's weird about this little Christmas package. You're so fucking cute. And he gives me a little shot of tequila, and I said, I'm not drinking tonight. And he goes, no, I think you're gonna want the shot. And I said, no, it's, a little diet. I'm not drinking. And he goes, Chuck, take the shot. And so I take the little shot of tequila. He goes, that's not a lemon tree. That's limes. And limes turn yellow when they rot.
Oh.
So that year, I sent every one of my friends rotten fruit for Christmas. And so if you were one of my best friends, you hate me.
When life gives you lemons.
Right? Yeah.
Make ornaments.
But if if I sent you a Christmas card, we're doing okay. you're probably still one of my best friends. So that's what I got for tonight. Thanks for letting me share.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And
Fun fact, rotten fruit is Chuck's grinder handle.
thank you. I'm gonna change it to Cal Shader, but I can't even find that guy on Google. What is the correct name that I'm to
His name
look
is
for?
Cal Jader, spelled
T-J-A-D-E-R.
T-J-A-D-E-R.
Cal Jader. Look at
Better
that.
than shit. He may not even have a Wikipedia page
Ah, now I got it. Yep,
anymore. So,
he's got a Wikipedia page.
I know.
The other guy had a lot of court cases. Sorry.
Play the vibes like nobody's business, man.
right. The other guy's a more fun Google, by the way. All right.
All right,
sorry about that.
we have more show coming up,
Mhm.
and our next guy is a guy that I only allow on the show because I can pronounce his last name, and I'm very proud of it. Please welcome, if you will, Sukumar Vijayaraghavan.
Hey. So I recently found out how much of a nerd I am. So this is how. So until recently, I was driving an old 20-year-old Honda DT, where the DT stands for Death Trap. It had a hole on the floor. The power steering didn't work. There were no airbags, not just a body bag in the trunk as a backup. I just want to avoid the plot line on CSI Denver where the assistant to the ME shows up and says, I forgot the body bags and leaves. And for the next minute or so, the camera is focused on my dead, bloody face. But all that changed this year in March. So I got rid of the rust bucket and I got myself a 2016 Toyota. So I drove the car back from the dealership, parked it on my in front of my house, and I turned the engine off, and something flashed on the dashboard. It said 35 out of 100. Try avoiding driving in a less jerky manner. So I had my car now calling me a jerk, but.
Sir.
But it completely changed the way I drive now. Now I drive so slow that 80-year-old senile drivers now honk at me to get the move on. But I'll be damned if I score less than a 95 out of 100, even if it's my car that's grading me. I've always been an A+ student, and I won't change that right now. So I think what we've done now is outsourced all our criticism to our appliances. So, there was a time when we were allowed to be brutally honest. In 9th grade, I got a 0 on my math quiz, and the teacher wrote, congratulations, well done. And even a moron could tell that's not what he meant. And you just had to lift the paper up to see the dripping sarcasm. But now, if the student gets a 0, now this is how the conversation goes. I would say, you're a really smart guy, and you've been doing very well in my class, but I understand how sometimes we don't feel like answering questions. And don't worry about the 0. Even Einstein got a 0 every now and then. And I see that you misspelled your name, but all of us do that sometimes or the other, right? Am I correct, Bob? The student then goes off ignorant as ever, but feeling good about himself. So now we leave all the honesty to our appliances. The latest model of washing machines have a voice feature in them. So every time I stuff my clothes in the washing machine, you get this, the washing machine says, oh, for fuck's sake, haven't you been told not to overload the washing machine? And 2 weeks ago, I absentmindedly put my pizza in the oven with a plastic wrapper on, and I found that out 10 minutes later when the smoke alarm went all over the house, went off all over the house. But now that won't happen, So you put the pizza in a wrapper in the oven, press the start button, and the oven says, "Are you a moron?" And so that's what I have now. Thanks.
Sukumar Vijay Raghavan, ladies and gentlemen,
Woo!
Yeah.
Well, I got married so that I could hear "Are you a moron?" whenever I made a mistake. It has worked like a charm for me. I have to tell you. Actually, it's actually gone through the tenses. It started out for many years. It was "Are you a moron?" and now it's just "You are a moron." So I just get it confirmed. I no longer have to wonder whether I'm a moron. I just get to know that I'm a moron.
Is that your
It's
ringtone?
it's tripping me down the stairs. That's what I don't like. It's been a troubled marriage. That's all I'm saying. No, it hasn't been a troubled marriage. Jesus Christ. She loves me. I love her. You know, we had a couple of kids. What are you gonna do? Can't get out of it now. Sorry. I'm sorry. No, seriously. I just want to think. I thought when Sukumar said that he just recently found out he was a nerd, it was because he understood every word of Donna Shannon's act tonight. But then he went into this whole other thing. It was really a surprise and a delightful one at that. So, you know what's great about this? You know, because I make fun. Sure, that's what I do. But I've seen a lot of G.I. Joe cartoons. And because of the laws about the cartoons and stuff like that, if you watch G.I. Joe cartoons, all of the bad guys get out of the plane and have to parachute to the ground because you can't imply that anybody gets killed.
Yep, no blood.
There's never any blood. They're shooting automatic weapons at each other all the time, but nobody gets wounded, nobody gets hurt. And they're real American heroes, which means they can't hit shit. They should be called G.I. Joe, World War II German heroes, because in World War II Germans couldn't hit shit. Anyway, apparently you have to go and see a World War II movie to find that incredibly funny. But or perhaps you've seen lots of World War II movies and you're just drumming your fingers on your table at home going, why?
Hey, Mike, just because you served in World War II doesn't mean we all get the references.
Oh,
Excellent. That is excellent. That is excellent. Would that you had a joke in your act. That was oh, come on, stop it. Why do I kid? Because
you love. We kids.
I kid because I love. I kid because I love to act superior to people who are better than me. That's the reason that I do it. Speaking of people that are better than me, here's one who's better and funnier than me, like everybody else on the shows tonight. Please welcome Evan Smith. You'll get it. You'll get it as soon as you see it. What a punim.
I got my flu shot last week, and I think it's very important that everyone does it. But I do like these people who think that the flu shot is part of a government conspiracy, as if anyone would trust my local Safeway with the handling of government conspiracy. Like, sure, every cart is broken every time I go in there, and they're always out of my Pamplemousse LaCroix, but these are the people who are going to distribute Bill Gates' tracking devices. But I felt the side effects, and they say when you're exposed to something bad, your immune system will sort of ramp up and you might feel like you're getting sick. And so I understood why every time my uncle talks about politics, I get a cold. We were watching a movie this weekend with our COVID pod. Does anyone else have a COVID pod?
No.
Because what it's supposed to be is it's a group of friends who all agree to the same quarantine rules. That way they can all hang out together. But what it really is a group of friends who all lie about following the same quarantine rules so that they can hang out together. And, some of my old college roommates are in my COVID pod, and they wanted to go up to the mountains for a few weeks. And they billed it as a mini vacation. But I think living with my old college roommates for any amount of time is much less like a vacation, much more like a relapse. My older brother got engaged recently. I'm very excited for him. He called to give me the news, but his fiance, they've been together for about 5 years, and my wife and I have been together for about 4 years. So this conversation went a lot better than when I called him to tell him that I got engaged. Like this one, I got to say congratulations, but when I called him when I got engaged, I had to be like, you might want to sit down for this. You have a tricky conversation ahead of you. Thanksgiving is coming up. I'm very excited. It reminds me that last year was the first time that my parents met my wife's parents. We went out to dinner the night before Thanksgiving. It was a lot of fun, great food, and we got to see all the power dynamics come out all at once. The waiter threw down the check, and her mom reached for it, and my dad started calculating tax and tip, and well, I hid in the bathroom. For the longest time, I did not know who paid. I just came out of the bathroom, and everyone was glaring at the table, and the waiter was shaking in the corner. Finally asked my dad, I was like, who paid? How'd you work that out? And he was like, well, we agreed that we would pay for dinner and that they could pay for the wedding. Christmas coming up too. We're going to see my parents in New Hampshire. If you've never been to New Hampshire, it's kind of like Beyond the Wall in Game of Thrones. But instead of roving bands of wildlings, it's just roving bands of libertarians. All right, that's all I've got for tonight. Thank you, guys.
Oh, yay! Evan Smith. Evan Smith. So, well, maybe I'll spotlight myself for the brief moment that I'm going to be on stage. Or maybe I'm not. Okay, doesn't matter. Here's the thing. Thank you, Evan. I'm sorry that you're still on the screen. I'll cancel the spotlight video on you. There you go. There's Chuck again. You're very nice.
Right.
Yeah, Chuck.
Mike and I are old men who use Zoom. That's what we do.
No, you know what? When I was trying to spotlighting myself was not on the menu.
Right.
It wasn't on
Right.
the menu, so I couldn't. It doesn't make me an old man. You're a younger man than I am. So neither one of us is old men.
Right. You know,
Man, you know what? Sometimes you think that you're really, really on it, you know, and you're just your finger popping funny. And some nights you are just an incredible piece of shit. I mean, I have done so badly tonight. I can't decide whether I should change my name to Carrot Top or Dane Cook.
You can just keep it as Mike Langworthy.
Well, no, I don't want people to have false hope. That's the thing.
You know, Langworthy-esque is now an adjective. So
Yeah, it's actually, yeah, I know. It's actually a major award category at the Golden Globes.
Right.
But let's not get into that.
Was False Hope that soap opera you wrote for?
No.
What was it called?
False Hope.
False Hope. It's a soap
Oh.
opera. It was a soap opera about being in the trenches in 1918. But it was told from the rats' point of view instead of the soldiers.
Mm. And remind us again, which was your first talkie?
I can't even remember. It might have been the jazz. Oh yeah, it was the jazz mime. You see, everybody goes, "Oh, Langworthy, he's lost it. He's round the bend. He's lost it."
No.
Every once in a while, bam.
You gotta hang in there, folks. You
Back,
gotta hang
you
in
know.
there.
I do it on. I fuck up on purpose. You don't know
Yeah.
that. I fuck up on purpose. So
Yeah, we don't. You gotta let the people.
Get it back.
Yeah, that's right. You want to? I feel like I'm one of those comics from Vegas who got so good, you know, like what was his name?
Buddy Hackett.
Buddy Hackett got so good that he would show up in a rhinestone-studded jock strap as that was his opening on stage, just to see how much he could offend the audience and then get them back.
Wow.
And
Any chance we can get you to do that awesome impression you do of Rich Little?
I do Rich Little. I do Rich Little as David Stein. I do Rich Little doing David Stein. Then I close it with a John Biner hunk. So
Do you have Fred Travellini bring you up?
I have Fred Travellini bring me up, and then I go off. My last bit is Frank Gorshin doing the bell scene from the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Aha, of course. What else?
That Frank Gorshin reference.
Frank Gorshin.
People,
Frank,
what they
That was a real Riddler.
yeah, it was a real Riddler, and you're so proud that you got the
Yeah,
reference.
I wanted to get
He's
to it
so-
before you did.
He's so proud that he knows who the fuck Frank Gorshin is. Gorshin.
So good.
Anyway,
I
Yeah,
played
my-
the Sands. I played the Sands once. Once, but I played the fucking Sands. All right.
You played the Sands, I used to work the.
you brought down the house.
Absolutely.
Right. It was like right before they tore it down. Anyway.
Yeah. The Sands was built on sand, ironically. It's kind of a biblical reference. Be that as it may,
I think we've saved the show from your horrible camera work.
my horrible camera.
Well, there was that moment.
My horrible. Oh,
Yeah,
hey.
it was me. It was me.
Oh, what I meant to say was, hello, everyone. I'm Mike. Let's start the show over again. Our next performer probably doesn't even want to go on anymore. Anyway, her name is Catherine Shea. We met before the show started. She had another engagement and decided to come back and do a set for us anyway. And now, what a fool she feels like. Please welcome Catherine Shea.
Yay!
Oh, thank you, Mike. I'm so excited to be here. What a great room.
Oh,
I'm-
thank you.
Yeah, I'm Catherine Shea. I'm single, so I've never called anyone a moron.
Oh,
It's early.
Being single works for me. I've had an interesting career, great boyfriends, and a lot of dogs.
yeah, good.
And a
Got a
child.
dog a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Oh, good. And I got a child too.
Whoa.
My friends kind of thought it was a mistake for me to turn down 5 marriage proposals.
Woo!
I know that sounds like a brag until I tell you one man got down on one knee, asked me to be part of his fellowship, and then handed me a copy of Lord of the Rings.
Whoa.
True story.
Good choice, by the way, Catherine. On your part. Yeah, you dodged an arrow there.
When I was younger, I could keep up with my boyfriends. I skied the mountains, I ran the marathons, I did the Kegels. Now I'm in the market for something different. Some people like vintage cars. I want a vintage man. My whole life, I've been waiting to date an old man, someone who goes out to someone who will go out for soup with me, do the daily jumble, and talk about World War II. Turns out, though, that Colorado's no country for old men. It's not easy to find the right person to date when you're picky. My friend Steph is picky, but she found a man who shares her love of cooking, fine wine, and puppetry.
Jesus.
She's gonna kill me.
No, you know what? That's the best way to die. The best way to die is be killed by the punchline of one of your jokes.
Worth it. It's all worth it.
It's all worth it.
She died doing what she loved.
I had a hand in a puppet murder.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Oh my
That
god.
sounds-
Hey, what do you say we let Catherine do her act?
So much fun. Steph found her George Clooney. Why can't I find my Willie Nelson?
Right.
I still dream about Rob Pattinson now that he's old enough so that it's not for me to have feelings for him without it being creepy.
Yeah.
But I don't want a younger man for the same reason people don't get a Jack Russell Terrier. It's too much work. In my neighborhood, every 60-year-old can bench press 250, run a 7-minute mile, and still fit into his jeans from high school. I don't want that. I don't want that. I want someone who will join me in a few toe touches, neck rolls, and call it good after our walk around the block. And what's with the bleached teeth? Teeth shouldn't blind me like an interrogation light. A man's teeth should tell me he's enjoyed the finer things in life, like red wine and hot coffee and blood pressure meds. One man told me that he has a healthy relationship with his ex after their conscious uncoupling. Gross. Introduce me to the man who's been kicked to the curb by at least 3 different women and barely has any fight left in him.
Oh, fuck.
Age is just a number, one guy tells me. I'm ready to be my best self and live life to the fullest with you. Hard pass. My best self is hanging out somewhere back in 1995. I tried this website, Sexy in Your 70s. I meet Ted. Our first date goes as planned. Blue hair special, skip the movie. We're home and in bed by 6 p.m. A beeping wakes me up. The clock says 5 a.m. and Ted is standing at the end of the bed in bike shorts. I'm off to spin class, Kath. Back in a jiffy. Relationships are hard enough at my age because you don't know how much time you'll have. If he keeps up with his gym membership, I could be stuck with Ted for another 20 years.
All right, go ahead.
I'm not quite ready for the Fox News fan, but I'd welcome someone who has a medic alert system, twice a week grocery delivery, and a granddaughter who can drive us around after dark in his Buick LeSabre.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
I love that guy.
Men in their 70s are too spry for me, but I haven't given up. Tomorrow, after my nap, I'm going to try for an octogenarian over at the VFW.
Good. Yeah. Go for that.
Thank you all so much. It's been so fun hanging out with you.
Oh, that's great.
Catherine, that was great. I'm sorry I fucked up your last joke. By interrupting.
Probably wasn't that funny.
It was funny. Got to laugh anyway, but I interrupted you in the middle of it, so sorry.
Sorry. Thank you so much.
No, you were great. You were great. Loved you. Feel bad about your choice of men because I knew a lot of guys before the pandemic. I knew a lot of guys that would have been perfect for you. I'm just saying. A lot of people are dead. Am I right? Am I the only one that's been reading the papers? Papers, by the way, are what we used to have before MSNBC was not really current. Our next performer.
You mean the obituaries?
Yeah, well, you got to keep up with your friends. I'm bringing our next performer on, Ned, and it's not you, Ned.
What?
No, it's the person before you. Her name is Paula Maddox, and I know that everybody's going to really love her. So please give her a round of applause. Thank you.
Hello. Well, I got to get out to our host for hosting this mic and me actually getting on for. We're excited. Yeah. I hope I give you all money's worth, because that's cool. You guys have been entertaining me so great. It's been nice. It really has. Right?
Thank you. On their behalf.
I don't know how to start this because I've learned something new this week. There's actually an extra abuse category. Let me start at the beginning though. I'm a mom. I know this trauma is too easy to hide. Yeah, and I got used to my oppression. Like I'm Native too, so it was kind of natural to used to, not expecting too much out of life, But actually, I was kicking ass because the pandemic started, and now.
Oh no!
No, it's not okay. It's so bad, you guys. I gotta tell you. Changed the math. Now, my older kids, when they were mathing, I didn't give much of a shit when it was wonky because I wasn't teaching them. It's not my job. But these little kids, man, they're 11 and 7, and they're not convenient. You know what I mean? Like 7, 11. It's crazy. Youngest one, she has to do this assignment where she rolls a dice and she has to add it by itself. So if it's 4, she has to 4 plus 4 is 8. Seems easy enough. By the time she gets the paper done, she's got them all wrong. And I look at her and I'm like, oh my God, aunt, this is so bad. Like, how did I mess this up? Well, see, she times it.
Oh,
it's a Paula problem. She did the math the wrong. Who taught the 7-year-old how to do multiplication? Sneaky, I think, because no one gave me the number to gate. No one, got a goddamn genius on my hands. I do. Normally, I try to use my comedy to warn people about the dangers of parenting. Because let's be honest, you can leave a marriage, but leaving kids is so fucking hard, man. Crying and screaming.
Yeah.
Up too. So bad. And I should have expected to be different, but I didn't realize how much dumb occurs when you're around kids all the time. Like a lot of it just fucking happens. It's so bad. And I think it's a form of black magic. I think once you've had a baby and you're raising that baby, the changes that overtake you, it's like a spell, because no one would do this willingly. It's just guilt and all that shit piled on there. No, because it has all the requirements. It has sacrifice. You sacrifice all your good parts to make this kid turn out. All the parts you didn't know you had, right?
Yeah.
The second thing is offerings, because you offer up your literal DNA for this job. I mean, that's huge. That's cosmic, right? Remember, it'll bind that day. Testing, kind of the chanting in the moment before you're like, please. And then you make that monster, and then you're moaning and groaning. The mistake. I'm sorry.
No.
Sorry. I often wonder how come they don't put pregnancies of STDs. Why? Because I watched out for those STDs when I was young, and thank my hoary stars I never caught one, but I got caught in the parent trap. I mean, which one's worse?
One of them you get over.
I don't think chlamydia talks back as much as these guys do. Like, so bad. Anyway, you can't spank kids anymore, which is fine. I'm not for spanking. But it sure did solve a lot of problems, my mom says that we're meant to be spanked, and that's why God put the crack in your ass to absorb the blow. I don't know, man. All I know is I'm an older mom raising my nieces. I'm putting my.
Oh man. I have to tell you that you've been cutting out. Your video's been cutting out. So we're getting a lot of punchlines and not as many of the setups.
Understood. You guys have good. Sorry.
You just froze.
He's doing an impression.
I'm really sorry because Paul is great, and I've.
Oh, I know this one, Disney Plus.
I've learned some. So no, Paul, I don't want you to go away. I just have to tell you that some of the stuff was cutting out.
Right, she might be resetting her signal or whatnot. I can see over here that she might.
Yeah.
Well, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it's so much better to blame the internet for my bad delivery than my bad delivery. So thank you. The internet.
Yeah, it's the internet, damn it. That's what I should have been saying all night.
Ah, thanks, you guys. Sorry about that.
No, it's no problem. Are you continuing or?
No, sir, I'm good.
Part-
Was it good for you?
It was,
Oh, it was really good.
it was an excellent job. In
Who's
fact,
your internet sponsored by?
My neighbor.
I love
He
that joke.
knows.
keep that in the act. Keep that.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
that joke. You did that.
Honesty.
You did that joke a few weeks ago. I recall. And it fits
Oh,
in
and
right now.
remember that.
And I didn't do it tonight.
That's
I wanted
fine.
to change things up, and then my trauma got to me.
Funny.
Well, way
I
to
think we
win it.
everybody has been exactly where you are right now. I've been blown out of shows that I was supposed to be hosting. So I'm really sorry that happened. Make sure you come back and we'll make sure that it gets better for you. If that's at all possible. All right? Okay.
Please do.
Thank
And I'm gonna bring our last and sure, let's go with best act.
I thought I was next.
Oh, yeah, you know what? You're right. Sorry. My bad, everybody. You did the old switcheroo. I thought you were zigging and you zagged.
It was a $1.80 right there.
Yeah, you did that. You turned my life 360 degrees, man.
You did not see that coming.
No. So please welcome, if you will, Ned Rice.
Thank you.
Ned Rice, ladies and
Thank you
gentlemen.
all. Thanks for hanging out late. I do this show as often as I can, but I haven't been here for a few weeks. So I've been away. I have a beard now. I think her name is Sally. Very nice, I hear. I've gained quite a lot of weight. It's all COVID weight. I guess you're not supposed to eat banana bread 3 times a day. I've gained so much weight during the pandemic. I can now socially distance from myself. That's
It's a lot of weight, Ned.
when I want oral sex, my girlfriend has to go around on me instead of it's directional. So that's how things have changed. By the way, we did have an election last week, I believe. I don't know if you heard. I was never a big Joe Biden fan. He certainly had a checkered past politically, but I was very moved by his speech, especially that part where he said, "Ask not what your country can do for you." I thought, doggone it. That guy sounds like he's really got something to offer. I think that's wonderful. And the election is behind us. I'm still getting texts from the Trump campaign asking for money. I don't understand. I get several every day. And of course, I always get them from Mike Lindell. I don't know if you know who this is. Mike Lindell is the My Pillow inventor. You may have heard of the My Pillow, or as I call it, a fucking pillow. This guy, he claims to have reinvented the pillow. I don't get it, but it's all over the world now. They even have it in Germany. It's called My Pillow. You have to say mine. Apparently, they've sold 6 million there. I don't know why they mentioned that. I don't think that's important. But I have to say, it's weird getting things from him. And also, it's also weird that Mike Lindell is very pro-life, which is very strange to me when you think of all the people in movies who have been smothered to death with pillows. I think he's the least. He'd be the last person I'd ask to be a pro-life spokesman. But I have to say, this whole My Pillow thing, you can't just write "my" in front of a well-known product, and call it your own. Like, how about if I introduce My Wheel? I think I have some residuals coming. How about if I roll that out? The bar has been lowered. Let's be honest on innovation. Have you heard of the Untuck It shirt?
Mhm.
It's a long sleeve button down shirt that you don't have to tuck in, or as I call it, a fucking shirt. That's what it is. Product. Why is this a new thing? I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. I just had dinner with my mom this weekend. She turned 94, and bless her heart, she's so young at heart.
In fact, I think she's a little too young at heart. I just found out my 94-year-old mother is a cutter. And I think that, I said, Mom, what is that thing on your arm? She goes, what? I go, underneath your Zeppelin tat. What is that? Is that a cut I see? You know, do your friends do that? Does it make you seem cool? I don't think so. I think that's a bad thing. And she's very into, this is weird. My mother is into astrology, and I am such a skeptic. Honest to God, I don't believe in astrology. I don't even know if I believe in astronomy, to be honest with you. People say, yeah, there's that light up in the sky. That's a planet. I'm really? Where is it? Oh, it's about 60 billion miles. Have you been there? What's it called? It's called Pluto. Oh, they named it after a Disney character. I don't even think I buy that whole theory.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go the astrology route. I went to the post office today. Kind of weird. Why does the post office have an email address? Who was behind that idea? Does anyone else find that odd? Okay, just me. Let's move on. Very exciting. I heard Amazon is hiring right now, but unfortunately, they're only looking for very tall women. So that's because, you know, that's the kind of company it is. My girlfriend is a millennial. It's too bad I wasn't on after that previous woman, because I'm kind of the opposite side of her. I'm the obverse, if you will, of her act. I'm dating a very young woman, and it's challenges. We're both going through life changes kind of at the same time, but they're kind of different. This week I got bifocals, and my girlfriend got her wisdom teeth. So it's that kind of. So let me go out on that big laugh. Thank you all.
Boy,
Yeah.
thank you.
What a
Thank
show.
you. Yeah,
What
you
a
went out on that big laugh. I
Yeah.
often wonder what goes on in that head of yours.
It's a big one.
It's a big one.
Mm.
So there you go. All I can say is you guys were better than the host this time. Sometimes the host.
Stop it.
No, I'm not going to stop it.
I can't make
I
you.
can't stop it. I won't stop moving. No, sorry. What I meant to say was it was a weird night for me, and you guys did great, and you lifted me. You raised me up as
No.
Up where you belong.
yeah. Love lifted me up where I belong.
Oh, okay.
And then you raised me up. What's his name?
Should we get the lighters on for that?
No,
song?
you don't need to get the lighters on. I don't know who said that. I think it was Paula Maddox. That's who I think it was. It's funnier than I am, but be that. as-
Oh, stop.
Stop it.
Not as cute. Not as cute.
Stop it. Keep talking.
Anyway, this was really a fun show. Bruce, you always make me laugh. Everybody on the show. Actually, since nobody was clinically insane tonight, I can say my usual closing joke. All but one of you were wonderful.
Oh my God. God, that was the best callback ever.
Last week
Yes.
we had a guy on the show,
God.
on one of our shows anyway, who made let's go with the interesting decision that he did some carpentry work, I think, for a guy who paid him with acid. And he said it was slightly degraded acid, so it should be a nice mellow high. And he was completely out of his mind. He just was narrating his trip while walking around the venue, where as soon as he got off the mic with us, he was going to be doing a live show as a live open mic as a stand-up. And he was so high, he actually, and this is the first time I've seen this in 40 years of doing comedy in various venues. I've never seen anybody actually walk into the comedy brick wall before. And Chuck was there. He saw it too. And he's walking around, and he's, it would have been tragic if he hadn't said, "Excuse me." So
Oh.
that was,
It's funny when it happens to someone else.
well, I think maybe that's true, but I think he was excusing himself to the brick wall, and that was kind of.
Oh, I
And
see.
the wall got more laughs.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
The brick house.
Yes, the wall was a brick house. Anyway, you were all very funny, and I'm really glad that you came. Catherine, please come back. Donna, Ned, of course, you have a standing. Anyway, it's great to see you. And Bruce, did you know that Norm Crosby died over the weekend, Ned?
I did. That makes me commiserable.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That was
It's
so quick.
A very good and unique stand-up from the old school died over the weekend.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Pretty amazing.
Younger than your mom, as a matter of
Yes,
fact.
just barely.
I was just ready to send him an email to see if I could hook the two of them up, but
Oh well.
what are you gonna do? Catherine, the pool's shrinking daily.
Running out of time.
Well, anyway, if Biden keeps his promise,
Mm-hmm.
the pool will not shrink too much further. Donna, great to see you again.
Maybe Catherine can meet someone who gets a nice, sweet reverse mortgage.
Oh, right when they get it too. Like right when the check comes.
Yeah, that'll be sweet. Catherine walking up going, hey, thank you very much. And
You Willie Devane, don't you?
see you later, Bruce. You don't mind if I take the LeSabre, do you?
No problem.
That was the car my mother-in-law had, her last car. Buick LeSabre that, it was like 18 years old. It had 7,000 miles on it. That's not very many miles for a car that old, by the way, counting at home. And Chuck, I think everybody who's still here should give a big round of applause to Chuck.
Oh, yes.
Because he really he does a lot of work on the show, and please don't judge him by the stand-up. He's a very good
Oh, shit.
For me.
Come on. He buried me before. Come on.
Gotta bust out that box. Bust your
Absolutely.
box.
Gotta come back with something, because he wasn't just burying me. He was burying me alive and then tamping down the grave with his feet joyously.
I think you did that all on yourself.
I said, who coaches this guy?
That's
Jim
true, that's
Harbaugh?
me. This is me.
Right. You're doing great. You sold a ticket to next week already. So.
Yeah, oh, really? Did I?
That just popped in. I think the YouTube is the popular thing,
I love YouTube. And
Big with the kids.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Ned, thanks so much.
Good night, Catherine. Thank you.
Donna.
Thank you.
Everybody,
Bye.
thanks so much.
Thank you.
Good night, YouTube. We'll say good night.
Bobby, thank you.